Hey there folks, and welcome back to yet another episode of Straight Talk Whiskey. This is episode number 42, and I'm Nick as always, and today is our last installment on our mini-series of Ardbeg Single Malt Islay Scotch Whiskey. And as you know from the previous two videos, we've done the Ardbeg 10-year, that was our first review, and then we did the Uigeadail, which was last week. So now we get to our final little installment here, which is the Corryvreckan. And if you've looked at this before or had a bottle of it, you'll notice the little whirlpool logo on there, sort of trailing off into the distance. And there's something written on there, but I'm not sure exactly what it says. So the Corryvreckan is a whirlpool, a famous whirlpool in Scotland. It's one of the most turbulent waters in the UK, so I hear. I've never been there. But occasionally you'll see videos of people trying to swim across it or something like that. Apparently there's like a brief period where it's passable at least, but not something I'm going to be trying to do. So I don't know overly too much about the Corryvreckan. In looking around, there's not a ton of information on what makes it different than the other line, other than that there is no age statement like the 10-year, obviously, and then we had the Uigeadail, which had some maturation in sherry casks. So we had that. I thought I saw somewhere that it's either Corryvreckan or something else that has been aged in some French oak casks. Not sure if that's the one, so I'm not going to speculate that it is. But what we do have here, which, like we said last week, with the Uigeadail, 54.2% ABV. So that is a whoppingly high proof there. But it doesn't end there, because if you take a look at this sample of the Corryvreckan, it is 57.1. So, of course, as you already know, we got the water out because we want that puppy to get as much flavor out of it as we possibly can. So, like last week, I'm going to try a little bit of it at the proof that's in the bottle, and then we'll water it down just a little bit, let it settle, let it open up. Now, as I've said with other reviews, something like this especially, you're going to want to let sit out, let it breathe, that sort of thing. Give it some time. That'll help it open up a little bit, get some oxygen in there, let all those aromas sort of open up, and you'll have a nice full bouquet when you go in to taste it. So, let's go in for the nose. Definitely the first thing that hits you is it's got a big wallop. You can tell that there's going to be a big intense flavor behind this. We can tell, as we've said the last 2 weeks, with the color, doesn't look like there's any caramel added to it. No chill filtration. I'm not positive on that. It's certainly the case for this and the Uigeadail, because it says it on there. But for the Corryvreckan, it is not on there, which makes me wonder if it is, for some reason, chill filtered, which just seems strange if they're doing it with the 10 and the Uigeadail, and I'm sure other products that they have. So, just a little bit interesting. But the color doesn't look all too ambery, so that's good. And we'll see when we add water if we see any of the Scottish mist, as they call it. So, it's definitely very, very dark, very deep, very dense. And what I mean by that is you get sort of this tobacco-y flavor to it, some old leather. Definitely deep, rich peat in there. That's for sure. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's go in for a taste. That is definitely different than the Uigeadail in the 10-year for sure. What you get is something sort of medicinal in a way, which is interesting. Sort of a harkening back to the very older style of Scotch whiskey making. So that's definitely in there. The peat is definitely packs a nice big punch, but through all this sort of like strange medicinal quality, there's a undercurrent really of honey that's in there. And I don't say, that's not a pun on the Corryvreckan, but I guess we could take it as such. Big punch to it. It's got some really rich fruitiness to it, which is very interesting. Much similar to the 10-year, which had a lot of those in it. If you've had it before, or if you watched the review, you'll notice that there was definitely some of that going on in there. So we're going to add some water. We're not going to be too stingy with it because it could use a little bit more than normal. So there you have it. Let it work itself in there a little bit to see what's going on. But I've noticed price-wise, I believe that the Corryvreckan, out of these three, is the highest, roughly around $90 to $100 US dollars. So there's that price-wise. I mean, at 57.1 ABV, you can kind of understand that price point. There's a lot of no age statement, no frills, all the chill filtering whiskeys out there that are priced outrageously high because, like I said last week, they'll be marketed as small batch or special reserve or hand-picked by Jesus himself, probably. I'm sure that'll come out at some point, but just kidding. But what you have here with Ardbeg is sort of this understanding, right, that there is an increased demand for Scotch whiskey, definitely. I mean, whiskey in general. The markets are expanding, so this is being shipped out all over the place now. So the product, as we know, is going to be a bit limited for the time being because you need to plan for that 10 plus years, prior. If you're going to have your entry line as a 10-year and that sort of thing, certainly they can add younger whiskeys to the Uigeadail and Corryvreckan, sure, because there is no age statement on it. It's got to be at least 3 years though. But still, just saying that while some distilleries use no age statement as, well, we need to stretch our product as much as we can, we need to add as much young whiskey as we possibly can to stretch that out and further it, which I understand, you're running a business, and if those people, however many years ago before you came, didn't sort of anticipate the future, I mean, how can you? It's all, really best guess. You can never tell what's going to take off or not, such as we're seeing with Irish whiskey now. There's a big boom, a lot of players getting involved, a lot of new distilleries popping up all over the place, and so we'll see if that maintains itself, that surge, the need to try new Irish whiskeys and that sort of thing, in the years to come while these distilleries are waiting to have aged product, which I'm sure there will be. There's definitely a more discerning crowd out there that is looking for more and more, more value and more bang for their buck, basically. So, but until then, anyway, getting back on topic, with Scotch in particular, we can say that, you certainly know brands out there, like I'll say the Bowmore, the small batch that we reviewed. Is it really small batch? Because I've seen that all over the place. Maybe it's made in smaller batches, maybe, than usual, but come on, it's pretty standard, and, no age statement, so it's getting a little bit wordy there and trying to get people to think that they're buying something unique and special. But, on the contrast, what we're reviewing here are the Ardbeg line of whiskeys. Well, at least 3 of them that we have here. There are definitely more. But, because of the no age statement, right, we still got the 10, which is great, But for the other lines, what you're getting is very high quality product, very interesting whiskeys that I have never tasted certain things and smelled certain aromas in whiskeys before other than these. So the quality is way up there. That's why it's so highly sought after. People are always clamoring all over the place to get it. And that's because it's high quality. Now it's bottled at 54.2 and 57.1 respectively, right, with the Ubedal and the Corryvreckan, which is it's just crazy that you see a distillery that is not trying to shortchange anybody, but understands what's going on in the marketplace, is trying to run a business, obviously, but is still giving out quality product to us as consumers, enthusiasts, people just getting into whiskeys, or, you know, long-time seasoned vets. So, this is very interesting. Well, let's go back in. Let's see if this has changed a bit. Still probably use a little bit more water. See some of the legs around here on the glass. You know, a lot of wine connoisseurs will look at the legs of the glass sort of just as an indicator of it being an aged product, but obviously you can't count how many, you know, little veins or little spider webs there are, and, you know, make up how many years it's been aged. That's not how this works. But let's see. Definitely that big punch that I got in the beginning with the peat is definitely subdued a little bit. So now what I'm getting is more grassier notes. Real fresh cut grass is in there. The same thing with these tobacco-y, old leather, sort of furniture, polishy type notes in there. Yeah, and a little bit medicinal, just a little bit, it's got that sense to it, but not overpoweringly much, whereas earlier that was sort of the predominant note. Here it's still there, but it's not, it's taken a back seat. So let's go in for the taste. It's amazing what just a little bit of water will do. Now it's starting to ease up a little bit, because it was basically like this Corryvreckan, the whirlpool, pulling you in to this very deep, dark place, right to the bottom of the freaking ocean, really. And, you know, with those really powerful punch flavors. But now what we're getting is a more palatable array of flavors. So, like I said, the fresh cut grass is definitely in there. Some darker notes, some dark nuts, almost like almonds in a way. Not roasted or anything, but just plain. Definitely honey and spice. Real sweet end to it, which is really nice. It's a great contrast, great balance to that. The peat is definitely in there. It sort of wraps everything up in a nice tight package, really, and delivers perfectly. It's just amazing what they've been able to do with these whiskeys. It's just mind-blowing, really. Even some tropical notes coming in there. A little bit of mango, which is kind of interesting. Coconut in a way. It's got a sort of a rum sort of twinge to it, if you will. You've got some of that Caribbean type of influences, at least that's what it comes off as. And again, this is only like a section of, you know, what you take out from this. These are so, both this and the Ubedal, and, you know, the 10-year as well, are just so full of flavor profiles that it's hard just to pin down one. You could probably leave this out over an hour, like I've said, come back every 15 minutes and taste it again, write your notes down, and at the end you're going to have 4 different things and notes, because it changes that much. on the back of it, there is a nice maltiness to it. Definitely some aged quality in there. It doesn't feel young. It doesn't feel like, you know, Sprite or that type of thing, you know, energetic or that type of thing. It feels like it's had some age to it. It has some backbone to it. It's not bouncing all around, but it's kind of like a slow roll between flavors. It's like ship out there on the ocean, trying to avoid the whirlpool. You know? You know what I mean? And some sort of dark chocolatey notes in there. Again, just a whirlpool, if you will, of flavors in there, which is just astonishing. If I can get my hands on some 750 milliliter bottles of these, they probably will not be on the shelf, but will probably be locked up somewhere, you know, for fear for my life that people are going to come and try to take them away. Maybe the government will try to come in and take them away, you know, because they like to take the good things. But enough about politics. So anyway, that is our little mini-series on Ardbeg. I would love, as some people have pointed out, there's some other expressions, some limited editions that are out there that would be great, like Supernova and that sort of thing. But we're in the Ardbeg shirt. I doubt we're going to get any whiskey from space anytime soon that's bottled, but you know, I'm sure they'll get a distillery up there one of these days. You know, they're just going to do it. They're that good at what they do. And maybe further down the line, but so for episode number 42, as always, I'm Nick. Thanks for joining me. Next week we got a surprise for you. It'll be a good one. It's been a long time in waiting, so I think you'll enjoy it. Might be one of the first people to do a review on it, so be looking out for that next week. We're going back to the American whiskey side of things, so that's just a little hint. You might be able to guess what it is. But until then, as always, drink responsibly, have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time.